Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode. This is episode number 51, and we're starting today's episode off with a game against Hertha Berlin here in the Deutsche Pokal round of 16 stage, coming on the back of our 1-1 draw against Stuttgart in the Bundesliga in the last game, in the last episode. Also want to say real quick before we get into today's episode, appreciate the nice comments on the last episode, I really do. Of course, when I hit 50 or 100 in the Career Mode series, usually I make a special episode for you guys to say thank you for the incredible support on the series, because you guys deserve it for being really consistent with your views, your likes, your comments, and just being really appreciative in the comment section and just showing your appreciation anyway, really. So I made a special episode for episode number 50. It was a 38-minute long episode, I think it was, and we had 5 key games, including our 2 final Champions League games. If you missed it, I'll leave a link to it in the description, and you can go ahead and check it out. But still, for the first game of episode number 51, which isn't going to be quite as long, we take on Hertha Berlin here for the Deutsche Pokal round of 16 stage, as I just said, the Volkspark Stadion. Now, of course, in the first 2 seasons, we were knocked out in around a 32 stage. The board didn't ask us to reach any other stage higher than that, though, so that was totally fine for them. But this season, they asked us to reach around a 16 stage. We've done that. We're now into this stage of the competition, but I still want to get through. I still want to get through to the quarterfinals, so I do believe that this competition could be a winnable one for us. But despite that being the case, I still did decide to rest all of my players and field a completely weakened side, as I always do in the cups, regardless of what team I'm really using. So, taking on Hertha Berlin here, and the first few chances came to us. We started this game off really well, and despite being, underwhelming, if you will, in my team selection, I still felt as though we were playing really well and looking the stronger side. That was certainly the case of the break you saw by the stats there, and then 5 minutes after the restart, Tolisso was denied by a good save by Kraft, who kept the score scoreless. So 0-0 at the break and 0-0 at full time as well. Sadly, we couldn't find a goal in this game, despite an awful lot of chances. So 0-0 after 90 minutes in the game would go into extra time. We have been a far stronger side, though. But in the second half of extra time, still waiting for the first chance of the extra period here, Yannick Strobel was played forward inside the area, and what a fantastic moment this was, because you've seen this guy feature in my lineup quite a few times this season. His name's Yannick Strobel, 16 is his squad number, but 18 years old. I almost said that the wrong way around there. He's number 16, he's 18 years old. He's a central midfielder with a 5-star weak foot. He's a very decent player. I'm training him right now. He's an academy graduate, and he's one of the few players we've had in our academy, other than Cesar Valente, of course, who genuinely looks as though he could succeed in this Hamburg side. And I've discussed the academy a few times already this season, but the main reason is because so many of the players come out are really low overall. But he right now is 66, I think it is, for overall. He looks pretty decent regardless, and he scores his first goal for the club and almost got his second goal for the club here after Kraft turned his shot onto the post. But it was still 1-0 to Hamburg. But later on in this game, with the final chance of the game, how about this for drama? Hertha went down the right side and crossed the ball in with Bruno Perez here. The Brazilian picked out Kalu, then Mikel spilled the rebound, and then Kalu smacked the woodwork, and we got the ball away with Dennis Diekmeyer. So Kalu hitting the woodwork twice there, and it was still 1-0. But after we surrendered possession, we were in stoppage time, in extra time. The final chance fell here. Kalu found Weiser inside to his teammate, and Mikel made an absolutely fantastic save to keep it at 1-0, and then another fantastic save, and eventually the referee blew for full time. So how about that? Mikel made 3 incredible saves in the final phase of play to ensure we would win this game by a goal to nil. And if you remember, in the last cup game, in around the 32 stage, Mikel was unbelievably poor, especially with his, with his aerial ability, really, but he didn't have a good game regardless. But for this one, he had to get man of the match, because those 3 saves right there late on in the game were just unbelievable. The first one to turn it onto the post, or it might be the bar, actually, I'm thinking about it, and then those 2 quick saves in succession. I mean, unbelievable stuff from Mikel, and he's on the transfer list right now because the board put him on there because we haven't given him a wage increase, as Luan also got an injury in that game as well. He's going to be out for 4 weeks with a hyperextended knee. And the board put him on the transfer list, Mikel. He's a backup goalkeeper that's grown to a 75 overall, I think it is. Pretty crazy, considering the fact he's only played like 3 or 4 games for us ever since I took over. But yeah, he's a glitch goalkeeper, so he's obviously going to grow naturally whenever he wants, really. And it's just incredible, because after the first game in the cup, I was thinking, oh, he's more trouble than he's worth. He wants a wage increase. I've already given him one prior to him asking for another one. I may as well just sell him in the transfer window. He's never going to be number 1 here. Cesar will be. But after that performance and after those late saves there, incredible heroics from Mikel. I think he deserves a wage increase to get him off the transfer list, and I want to keep him as my backup goalkeeper. Some incredible saves there, and the game did indeed finish Hamburg 1, Hertha Berlin 0. So we are through to the round of 8 stage. We're through to the round of 8 stage. Who said the round of 8 stage? We're through to the quarterfinals. Delighted with that. And again, the board only asked us to reach the round of 16 stage, so maybe maybe a cup run, despite us resting all our players, is on the cards. But still, for our second game of today's episode here, the second and final game of today's episode, we take on Hannover 96 back in the Bundesliga. So it's all well and nice worrying about cup football, but of course our main concern this year and our main priority is the Bundesliga. With Bayern Munich still slipping up week after week, it seems we have to make sure that we continue our charge up the table and try and get ourselves back on top for the first time since the early stages of the season. And what a start to the game as well, because just 11 minutes in, Yannick Gerhardt will get his 4th goal of the season and make it Hamburg 1, Hannover 0. So a fast start to the game, but a few minutes later Hannover should have made it 1-1. They were played through here after this knock-on, and the man running through went 1-1 with Cesar Valente, but couldn't keep his shot down and blazed a shot over the bar. That was their first and only chance of what was a very uneventful first half, and in the second half he just passed the hour mark. Not much was really going on until Danny Carvajal found Leroy Sané, who got past his man with the fake shot here, played it through towards Andre Hoffmann down the right hand side, our centre back storming forward with the fake shot, then the ball roll, temporarily lost it but won it back, was taken down by the Hannover defender, and the referee gave a penalty to Hamburg. So Hoffmann taken down and a penalty to the home side, and the Hoff in this game as well was having an absolute stormer at the back for us. He was an absolute rock and preventing Hannover from getting too many chances. So Hamburg 1, Hannover 0, and our penalty for Hamburg as well. Cesar Valente will stand up and take it. He scored against Real Madrid from the spot in the last episode, and now he scores against Hannover, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. He stands up, stutters, and I rarely ever stutter nowadays. I used to do it quite a lot, but not as much now. But either way, Valente stutters, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, gives him the eyes. That moment of hesitation put the goalkeeper off. He went to the wrong way, and Valente smashes the ball into the top corner. So Hamburg 2, Hannover 0. A really cool penalty from Cesar Valente, and his penalty stat as well is not that great. I think right now it's 59, so it's not the best, but he's still capable of banging them in whenever he likes. He's still only missed 1 penalty so far in his career. That was of course on the final day of the Bundesliga last season, but he makes no mistake with this one, gets to celebrate with his teammates as he makes it Hamburg 2, Hannover 0. So Valente scoring his 3rd goal of the Bundesliga season, 2-0 to Hamburg, and then the 72nd minute here, a good chance to make it 3-0, and with Dusel as well, with Angel Correa scoring a lovely solo goal. He received the ball from just outside the penalty area, one quick roulette, one quick heel-to-heel flick, and Correa scores once again, and that is now, I do believe, 8 goals in 7 games for Angel Correa. And if you remember last season, he had this kind of streak and he was fantastic, and this year he started off well and then for a long period of time literally could not hit a barn door with a banjo, but now he scored his 10th goal of the Bundesliga season. There is still a chance he could match 23 like he scored last season, but either way, a fantastic goal there from Correa, and he's back to his best. There is no denying that, and I'm relieved as well, because if we're going to win the title this season, we need Correa to be back to his best. We need him to be scoring goals on a regular basis, but right now he's in red hot form. No team seems capable of stopping him, and I need him to keep it up this time and not slack off and fail to score for a run of successive games. But still, we won the game by 3-0. Delighted with the performance. We deserved the win as well. We played very, very well indeed, and Hoffmann was my man of the match. And following the game as well, the chief executive told me that Sakai and Kleber could be leaving the club in January as their contracts are upcoming at the end of the year, and they're of course both 23 and over. I offered them both new deals, but I didn't give them the wages they wanted or the squad statuses they wanted, so unsurprisingly they came back to us and said, well, Sakai just said he declined the contract, he wasn't bothered, and then Kleber came to us, appreciate the contract offer, but he's going to turn it down and move on come the end of his contract. So for me, I just thought, you know what, I'm not going to bother offering them new deals. Kleber and Sakai have been good squad players in this team, but they've never been anything other than that. They've never been first team players. Sakai got a lot of game time in the first season, and so did Kleber, to be fair. He came off the bench quite a lot too to shore up the back line, and Sakai was a very good utility fullback. I do like Sakai as well because he's got a 5-star weak foot and also LB and RB in his positions, so we can play on either side really. But I think it's best for both parties if we let them go either in January to sign a pre-contract with another team, or whether we wait until the summer and just let them, you know, just get released into the wild really. I mean, there's 3 scenarios that can happen here. Either they sign a contract with a new team to join next season and we keep them until the end of the season, which will be handy, or they get sold for a bit of money, which will help as well, or we just let their contracts run down and then the summer they get released into free agents pool and never to be seen again. But still, the January transfer window has now opened as well, so a question for you guys today to end the episode of: what players should we look to buy in the January transfer window? We've got around £11 million to work with once I adjust the wage budget as well, so I'd say between about £11 to £11.5 million. What players should I look to buy in the January transfer window? window to improve this Hamburg side, because I'm totally fine keeping hold of my money and not looking to bring in anyone. But say we do sell Sakai and say we do sell Kleber as well, we could be looking at getting around, maybe 14 million pounds. Not, not for the two together, but I mean the total of our transfer budget could go up to about 14 million pounds, and that will be enough for us to sign a pretty decent player to improve our team. So a question for you guys: what player or players should I look to buy in the January transfer window to improve this Hamburg side, as we still go in search of a trophy, and our first trophy with Hamburg as well come the end of the season? It's still crazy to think that 2.5 years in, we still haven't won anything despite the team getting far, far better. So a question for you guys then: what player or player should I look to buy in the January transfer window? But to end the episode off here, we have a squad reports. We've now into January. You can see how the players are currently getting on. Also look at the league table as well. As you can see, we are still in second place, halfway through the season now, directly halfway through, 1 point behind the league leaders Augsburg, who just don't seem to be slipping up. Bayern Munich are gradually getting back into the race. They're in 5th place and 6 points behind Augsburg and 5 points behind us. But look at the main story for the season: 18th place, bottom of the table, rock bottom as well, FC Schalke, with only 2 wins all season long. What on earth is going on at the Veltins Arena? But that is going to end today's episode though, guys, so thanks very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please do leave a like. That is of course much appreciated, and it really helps the channel grow as well. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Bundesliga career mode, where we'll be looking to sign some new players to the Hamburg side very soon.